Your carry suddenly dies even though the lane looks good, but it's still your fault. Today I'll explain why sometimes your carry has no farm and dies on the lane all the time, despite thinking you're doing fine. The real reason why this Raid King dies is completely different than what it seems to be. At first, it seems like he's just dying because he's low HP, but what actually caused the death? Let's see what happened on the lane more than a minute before. Snapfire sees that the camp is blocked and decides to unblock it with a sentry. It takes some time, but eventually she finds the ward. Notice that when she does that, she's full HP and mana. Her E hasn't been used before that sequence. And once she comes back to the lane, Raid King is already struggling. And now, let me introduce the real reason why Raid King dying is mainly his support's fault, not his. When we look at the Lich and Slardar gameplay, we can see that once Snapfire leaves to devour the camp, they put a lot of pressure on the enemy carry. Lich is very good at that, but to be honest, any hero can put up the pressure. His right clicks, along with Q and Slardar's stun, end up wearing Raid Kings down to very low HP. To sum this up, Snapfire decided to let enemies 2 vs 1 her carry, before using a single spell or attack on the lane, to devour the pull cam that will be unavailable for another 40 seconds anyway. Enemy Lich and Slardar took that time to harass him, and to be precise, use what this video is all about: lane pressure. Lane pressure is the difference between good and bad laning stage. This clip is from an Archon lobby, so players in any MMR can abuse this concept. What exactly is it though? Lane pressure means the enemy cannot walk up to the creeps safely. This is the definition we will be working with today. Think about it. How does Lich and Slardar kill a Raid King near his tower? If he's full HP? They don't. Their spells have cooldown, and if there's no spells, Raid King can simply walk into his tower range. But what if he's low HP? Let's say a full combo of Lich slow, Slardar stun and right clicks of both deal about 400 damage. Once he's close to that HP, he's not able to walk up, and he's basically pushed out of the lane, or at least until he gets healed. And lane pressure is usually dependent on the other duo being able to respond to it, or apply it first. That means if Snapfire puts enemies low enough, suddenly the pressure is on them. Let's say she attacks Lich instead of dewarding. If he's 100 HP, he won't be able to come in and cast a spell on Raid King, as then he's either going to base or getting killed in trees. Then it's up to Snapfire to decide whether she wants to deward her camp or apply pressure on Slardar, as now he's in the 2 vs 1 scenario. In short, if you don't apply pressure on lane as support, your carry will struggle and they will die, even if you do everything else correctly. If we look at the hero damage up until that Raid King's death, notice how he's laning against 2 heroes that dealt over 1k hero damage each, and that directly translates to pressure your Raid King received. And in case of Snapfire, the key thing here is, support should not abandon the current lane to have a pull camp. Pull camp is only a way to help recovery, and if you stay on the lane dealing damage, it won't need to be recovered, you will be the one that dictates it. This Snapfire didn't do anything wrong, she just did the right thing at a bad moment. There should be a priority list during the laning stage in your mind, and dealing with pressure or applying it is top of that list. Dewarding, stacking and all the other supportings, while being important, are second place at best. Of course, Raid King could also play better, but the main point is that the lane became so much harder because his support gave enemies free pressure. Now, let's watch my game where I'm playing against Faceless Void. Let's start with this sequence. I was able to pressure both Void and Clock on the lane, mostly the later on, and because of it, I'm able to commit into getting cocked. I can basically trade versus Clockwork even inside. That forces Void to help him, and Marcy sees that, and joins in with the pressure. Notice the amount of last hits Void has right now. Then, at 2:15, I decide to pull the lane. Marcy goes aggressively on Void and misses just one attack to kill him. You could say I'm a noob support that misses a kill, but my goal is to pressure Void off the farm, not kill him. A full minute later he's going to get killed by Marcy, and his courier with much needed salve dies as well. Now, let's pause and think what happened here. Between 150 and 350, Void got literally 2 last hits, and that means he's missed about 4 waves of gold that he could have gotten. In that time, he spent gold on salve and Tangos that he doesn't get until close to 5 minutes, so in fact, he spent more gold on regen than he got from last hits. All of that happened in the most crucial moment of the laning stage, and I managed to get a pull off, deny some creeps, get free experience and provide Marcy a free lane, on which she's able to free farm even if I leave her at this point. Void has still basically starting items at over 4 minutes. Power of pressure isn't only ability to get a kill, but also a threat. Why this Void is not farming? Because he knows that if he gets close to the creeps, he's going to die. Just keeping him low HP is enough to prevent him from farming, and as you know already, that is the main goal of the laning stage, to prevent enemy core from farming and enabling yours. In this case, pressure starts from both melee heroes getting harassed a lot, and a witch doctor being able to commit for a trade versus a hero he shouldn't be able to. If I'm full HP, but Clock is as well, once I get caught in the cogs I will probably die, and Void would be getting that kill. In short, if I don't pressure them, they will pressure me and win the lane. Because pressure is something that you either apply or you get pressured. There are no lanes that both teams, 4 heroes, are happy to just trade farm and ignore each other. Carries usually don't die because of one moment. They die because one side was allowed to control the lane for too long, and both of today's examples show exactly that, one in 3k MMR and another in 9k MMR. To understand pressure correctly, you need to understand what kind of hit your hero applies, whether that's a core or support, as there are different kinds of pressure heroes. For the start, let's look at this lane. Witch Doctor is a hero that constantly applies damage pressure, so he's able to harass a lot and deal a lot of damage. Both Clock and Marcy are kill pressures, so they are able to commit hard for a kill, and instead of wearing someone down, they are able, with some help, to kill targets. Void is a hero that maybe doesn't apply it that much, but he's able to relieve a lot of it with his Q. Hero-wise, he's very good to deal with getting pressure, at least the kill ones. Once he gets harassed, suddenly his Q becomes underwhelming. Because pressure in lanes is everything. Pressure leads to lost HP. Lost HP leads to missed creeps and deaths, and both of these mean they lead to lost lanes. If you would like to see a video on map pressure, let me know in the comments. Keep in mind I also offer private coaching to help you with your gameplay, and as always, see you